Hello, everyone, and welcome to Choices Finding Your Joy. Paula Vail here. I am so thrilled to share today's show with you. I am a huge wolf lover. I wore my wolf shirt for us today. We have the honor of speaking with Teo Alfero. He is an author, a speaker, a transformational teacher, and a sanctuary founder. He wrote the amazing book, The Wolf Connection. Teo, I want to say welcome and thank you so much.
Hi, Paula. Thank you for having me.
Oh, well, I'm just honored and I'm just thrilled to hear about your book and everything you do. Oh,
Thank you.
You're welcome. I would love to begin with having you share a bit of your background and what brought you to the amazing, beautiful work that you're doing and sharing with others today.
So I grew up in Argentina from Italian descent. And since early age, I was very curious about finding or sensing that there was something else beyond what meets the eye, the world of energy. So I began early in life reading different material and, some Oriental traditions and Celtic traditions. And eventually I came across the writings of an anthropology and shamanistic student by the name of Carlos Castaneda. And he lived here in Los Angeles. So his writings captivated me. And when I finished writing, I said, well, I need to find this man and study from him. So I came to the States searching for him. And so I became an apprentice and I'm a teacher of that work for the last, almost 20 years, 15 years. So that's what brought me to the States. And then one of the main premises of this lineage, this body of work, is the concept of finding the path with heart. And that, energetically speaking, that means the premise says that in the world of energy, everything is the same. Every path is equal to the one next to it. So it's a matter of choice. And you choose a path that has heart for you. So the journey is enjoyable. The journey is expansive. So, and Wolf Connection became that something that I was looking for, something that I had in my mind. I have formulated that I was going to work with wolves and help create this program, helping young people and so on. But here we are.
Oh, I love it. Well, let's begin first with your book.
Yeah.
I would love to have you share some things about your book.
Sure. Well, the book, I know you're reading it. I don't know how far along you are. There's a chapter 6 that talks about the cosmic wolf. So the whole book is set up in different realms, which I describe as different cognitive ways of referring to the wolf. So we have the ambassador wolf, which things that happen at the ranch, the wild wolves in the wilderness, and then we have the ritualistic wolf, the human wolf. So the chapter 6 is called the cosmic wolf, and this chapter refers to an experience that I had, a download that I had from wolf consciousness in a state of conscious dreaming. And the wolf gave me very particular instructions and information about who humans are, who the wolves are, and who we are to each other, how we came to be, how we came to this planet. Even describes in detail the moment we created the ego, self-reflection, and why was that, and what went wrong. So, and one of the instructions of Wolf was that I do not keep those messages for myself. I do not keep that knowledge, that I need to share it. So So that chapter really was the birthplace of the book. And then there's a lot of science in the book that integrates mythology, integrates energy work, integrates indigenous tradition in a way that how do I say this? I aim to make the book relevant for this time.
Yes.
And I'm happy with it. I think I achieved that to a good extent.
What would you say are some of the most powerful gifts we can gain from the wolves and learn from the wolves?
Well, the number one is the gift of heart. The wolf has this heart-centered presence that is undeniable, and that can be the pathway forward for humanity. Right? If we subordinate this to this, so this can navigate the due diligence, but this sets the path. This, the heart sets the direction. That's really all we need, and the wolf demonstrate that very clearly. Beyond that, I mean, indigenous traditions speak about this for in many different ways. The wolf has taught us courage and altruism and loyalty and love and compassion and collaborative work and sustainability, and is the teacher for many traditions. So all I'm doing really is to reclaim a relationship that the wolves and humans had for millennia, so it can become relevant again, and it can help humans. I mean, wolves are fine. It can help humans in getting a clue and finding the next iteration of our existence on this planet.
I love it. I love it. And in the book, you speak about 9 different realms.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, like I said, they are like different cognitive ways, as psychological, emotional ways to refer to the wolf. So most people think of the wolf and it's just the animal hunting deer and caribou in the wild, which is accurate. But in addition to that, that's just a beginning for me. In addition to that, there is an ambassador wolf, which is the work that is done at the ranch with the wolves that I have, and the wolf therapy programs that we created. There's the mythological wolf, refers to all the creation stories all around the globe. Ritualistic wolf, what all the indigenous traditions have done with that mythology. There's all kinds of wolf rituals across the globe. It's not only people think of wolf rituals and they think Native Americans, but you also indigenous cultures from Europe and from Asia and Russia and even Middle East. They have rites of initiation and wolf mythology that they have turned into rituals. So each chapter is really like a mini book on a particular wolf topic.
Yes, I love it. I love it. Tell us what the wolf therapy is. What is that?
Well, it's a term that I coined that's really basically it's a practical application of all these principles. So it's, on the surface, it's an encounter therapy, it's an animal therapy to heal trauma and to heal emotional, psychological, and energetic pain. And it draws from all these areas that I just mentioned, anthropology, mythology, indigenous traditions, science, biology, coevolutionary biology, behavioral sciences, obviously psychology. So, we put it all together to create an experiential program that, that's why I say in the book that the connection with the wolves is beyond language, because it's a primal connection that, evolutionary speaking, took place or originated
Yes.
DNA, the memory of our connection with wolves is prior to language.
I love it. And tell us about the sweet first little wolf that came into your life. Tell
Her
us
name,
that
her
story.
name was Tala, Sioux for wolf, and she was really special. I mean, she transformed my life. You know, this little puppy um, was bred at a backyard breeder in the suburbs of Los Angeles by someone that didn't know how to take care of these animals, and and I'm offered the animal as a, if I wanted to buy it, if I wanted to rescue it, and I said no. I was so busy. I was traveling. I was lecturing. I was teaching. I didn't have the time for a pet, and it was offered again, and I said not again, and it was offered a third time. I said no again, and this little puppy would not take no for an answer. I mean, energetically speaking, she kept coming back. Um, and one day a friend of mine ended up keeping her, and one day I said, well, why don't you, my friend had other dogs. She kept Tala, and then the dogs were having problems. They didn't like Tala. They were hurting her. So one day he called me for help, and I said, well, bring her over for a couple of days until things calm down, which is probably Tala's way to get her paw in the door. So um, that first night that I locked her up in the kitchen because she was not potty trained. So I didn't want her to pee or chew my furniture. And that first night, in around 1 a.m, she began howling, and that little puppy howl did something to me. I mean, changed me at a fundamental level, and I could not leave her, and
Oh.
and so we became inseparable. She started coming with me everywhere, and then looking for a playmate for her, I ended up finding what we call the original pack of Wolf Connection, 16 wolves and wolf dogs that became the founders of the place. But all led by this puppy. She never said a word. It was all this silent, heart-opening presence and guidance.
Oh, such love. Oh my gosh. That's just beyond everything, that kind of love, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yep. Yeah.
Oh. So tell us about the sanctuary.
So Wolf Connection it's a non-profit organization. We exist thanks to the generosity of many donors that are supporters over the years. So we have a dual purpose. So we rescue wolves and wolf dogs all across the country. These are animals that are either bought as illegal pets, or we have a number now that came from fur farms, where they get being raised for the pelt.
Yeah.
So we currently have 35 wolves at the ranch, and so we rescue them all over the country. We got one yesterday. We're receiving a couple more next week. So once they come to the ranch, what makes us different from other places is that we rehabilitate them physically, emotionally, psychologically, and that can take months. And then they become ambassadors in the world of humans. They began sharing a message. They open themselves up to our program participants, and then so we create a program structure that helps convey or translate the wolf behavior or the wolf message into ways that people can use them.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Would you like to give us an example of something you've seen doing this, such as possibly bringing in an injured wolf or traumatized, wolf dog? What kind of changes do you see happening?
Well, most of the wolves that we bring to the ranch have some degree of trauma. successfully and have it as a pet in their homes, and they have the proper enclosures and so on. So, but those are not the wolves that we see here. The wolves that we see here are the ones that were unsuccessfully owned or bred for the wrong reasons, and eventually people either give them up or are confiscated by authorities. So in that process, the majority of the wolves that come to us come malnourished, come with disease, or come. We got one not too long ago. One of the years that almost missing. It was just eaten up by flies, and that was never treated. So they basically half the ear is missing just because it was eaten by flies. So brokenness that these wolves bring to the ranch is probably the greatest strength, because they model a journey of healing and a journey of discovery that is amazing to witness, and a great, showing great leadership to the people that come to the ranch from foster care, ex-gang members coming out of prison, battling drug abuse. They come also broken, they come also in pain, and they witness these wolves turning their lives around, giving life another chance, beginning to trust again, beginning to love again, beginning to experience joy and again. So that alone is extremely, extremely healing.
Yeah, that is powerful. That is powerful. What they can do for others, having seen them, feeling their caring and their trust and their love. It's life-changing. How would the audience contact you or make a donation to help you with this?
Well, just coming to our website, wolfconnection.org, wolfconnection.org. There's plenty of ways for people to get involved. They can volunteer. They can come to one of our events and meet the wolves, community events. They can just simply donate. They can introduce us to their kids' school, so the kids can come, or if they have any contact with. We've been doing also some corporate leadership programs. So some big companies, Fortune 500 companies, come to the ranch. We charge them a hefty premium to do team leadership, and that premium helps us subsidize all the at-risk youth programs. So it's a win-win. They get to experience something new and different, and they also get to support the charity work that we do.
Oh, I love it. I love it. That is just fantastic. And do you have, can anyone volunteer to help, or is it more just donation based?
No, like I said, they can volunteer, and the different levels of volunteering. Some people can get more involved on a weekly basis. Mm-hmm. Some others can volunteer just for our events, so a few times a year. It's depending on their availability and time. Like I said, donation, introducing us to a school or to a foster care agency or to a company. Most people have a job, and many of those companies have budgets for team building and leadership training. And there is no better teacher for pack building and leadership than a wolf.
Yes, yes. Any recommendations what everyday people can do to help with what's happening to wolves all over the world? We really have to stand up for them. Any recommendations of what we can do coming together to help protect our wolves?
Yeah, the place I'm coming from is a place of inclusiveness and dialogue. Mm-hmm. Having the conservationist against the ranchers kind of mentality, that's the mentality that got us here. Mm-hmm. Divisive us versus them, wolves versus cattle, ranchers versus blah blah blah,
Yes.
vegan versus I mean all that stuff. The moment we start labeling and separating ourselves, we lost the battle up front. There's nothing. I mean, we can stand up for the wolf, go and sign petitions, and that will help. That would be remedial. Will help in the short term. But if we really want to create a sustainable global ecosystem for all of us, it's about having a dialogue. It's about understanding where these cattle ranchers are coming from, and without stereotyping anybody. Look, the wolf is probably the most stereotyped animal. Little Red Riding Hood, the big black wolf, the three little pigs. All that. I mean, that's a stereotype for the wolf. I mean, the wolves don't do any of that, right? And because of that stereotype, is that wolves bring such a passion in humans, either for deep, deep love or horrible abhorrence that some people have when they say wolf. And no, people don't have the same reaction to other big predators, that some of which are more damaging than wolves are. So what can we do? I mean, first thing we can do is inner work. The first thing, I mean, the first person to change and the first person to evolve is the one staring you back in the mirror.
Yes.
And then from that, heart center, opening, peaceful, deep breath, deep understanding, compassion, inclusiveness, then we can go and talk to anybody. And then you do your actions. But if we come from a divisive or a combative point of view, I don't think we're going to get anywhere.
Yeah, nothing done. And that's, something I love about your book, Teo, is the wolf connection shares so much about wolves that will help people understand and see wolves a little differently as well.
I hope so. I mean, that book is really my attempt at conservation.
Yes.
One of the main things that wolf detractors say, people that have a more utilitarian view of the land, the forest is mine to cut, the water is mine to drink, the elk and the caribou is mine to hunt and eat, right? That kind of more colonizing point of view is that they ask the question, well, what do wolves do for humans? Right? I mean, the elk I can eat, the forest I can build a house with. What do wolves do for humans? They do nothing for us. Therefore, we need to eradicate them. They don't do anything. Furthermore, they eat my elk and they eat my deer. So in this book, I attempted to answer that question. What wolves have done for millennia for humans and what they can continue doing.
And we need them. We need them for our planet. With just a few minutes left of the show, what last words do you want to leave us with, Teo?
Well, first off, I like to ask people to buy the book and let me know what they think, right? And pass the love if they deem it worthy. And secondly is always to remember that many times we think, about immersing ourselves in nature as if nature is something outside of us. It's out there. I need to get in my car and drive and then get to nature out there. And nature is in here, right? Our heart is wild. Our heart is connected. Our heart can speak to a tree and to a river and to a bird and to a, right? So the simple reminder, put a Post-it in your fridge or in your bathroom mirror that we carry nature inside, and if we pay attention to that, we are constantly connected, not only to nature but to ourselves and to each other. And that's really the bottom line.
I love that. That is a powerful statement. And we are so connected with nature and the planet and the animals. We're connected to the wolves. How do you not love them? We're connected to them.
We're connected particularly to the wolves. Now science is confirming what indigenous people have been talking about for millennia. The wolf is the first animal we ever associated with, perhaps hundreds of thousands of years ago. I mean, our history with wolves is unprecedented in any other relationship that we have in the nature kingdom.
Yes.
So they have been literally walking by us for a long, long time, and if we allow them, they can help us find our path again.
Yes. How beautiful that is. Isn't that just beautiful? Well, if you wouldn't mind, please share your website with everyone one more time before we say goodbye.
Sure. For wolfconnection.org, for to see our charity work. My own website. I mean, as a teacher, I have teoalfero.com. If someone wants to see, I do a few classes through the year. Most of my work is dedicated to Wolf Connection.
Oh, thank you so much, Teo.
Thank you.
I am a huge fan of everything you're doing, and your book is so precious to me. I have to buy more to give as gifts. It's a beautiful gift to all of us.
I appreciate that. And if you pass it along, please ask him to make do a little testimonial on Amazon. I don't know how they call it, because that always helps.
Yes, you got it. Oh, Teo, thank you so much.
Thank
Love,
you.
hugs, and blessings. Everyone out there, thank you. Love, hugs, and blessings. Oh, this was just so fantastic.
Blessings.
Bye.